The more I study God's Word, the more that I find great comfort and peace and strength in meditating upon the book of Psalms. David was a man who was described as being after God's own heart. And by letting our hearts speak these words that flowed from the heart of David, our hearts too will become like the heart of David, and at the same time will become like the heart of God. Now, I'm not sure which of the Psalms appeal to you the most, but one that appeals to me greatly is a psalm that we will be discussing in our lesson today. Psalm number 27. What we find in this psalm is an answer to a question. And David asks the question, what is it that is desired of the Lord? Have you ever stopped to consider that in your own life? What is it that you really desire of the Lord? Is it salvation? Is it some selfish ambition? Are you serving God just because you feel like there's going to be some earthly blessing that's going to come from it? And so today I would like for us to consider that question. What is it that you desire of the Lord? In looking at Psalm 27, we find these words, "One thing I have desired of the Lord, that will I seek." Friends, receiving from the Lord is dependent upon our seeking His help in finding it. Our service to Him cannot be far down on our list of priorities. The most important thing in our life should be serving God. Just as Solomon found at the end of his life, after he had pursued all of these worldly pursuits, trying to find meaning in life, he finally came to the conclusion of the whole matter. He said the whole duty of man is to fear God and to keep His commandments. That is the most important thing. Well, the Bible speaks of this concept of seeking God and serving God with all your heart. And we find this 9 times in the book of Deuteronomy. And each one shows the importance of seeking God with all of our being. David goes on to say that I may dwell in the house of the Lord. Friends, it's likely that David's house of the Lord was the tabernacle that was given at Sinai. It was merely a tent. Yet David said that his desire above all things was to dwell in that house. Well, you may be wondering why. Well, it's because God was there. And how important is it in your life to be in the presence of God, to be able to worship Him? But David also says that he desires to do this all the days of his life. As a young man who was facing Goliath, he looked back to past events which had happened and said, God delivered me from the lion, He delivered me from the bear, and He will deliver me from this Philistine. 1 Samuel 17 and verse 37. He believed deeply in the providence of God even as a youth. And this was something that continued all the days of his life, even as an old man. But he also desired to behold the beauty of the Lord. David knew that it was in the house of the Lord that he would be able not just to glimpse at the beauty of God, but to truly behold it. We come into His house to sit at the table of the Lord to view the most beautiful manifestation of the Lord as we commune with Him at the cross. When we come together to worship God, it is truly a beautiful thing to behold. But David also says that he has come to inquire in His temple. We come into His temple and listen to Him speak His words to us in Bible classes and in our worship services. Bible study, by its very nature, generates questions as we seek for deeper knowledge and the closest relationship that we can have with God. And every time, without fail, we inquire of Him, and His will for our lives, He gives us that answer. The Creator of the world longs to have fellowship with us and provides us the answers that our souls are seeking after. But how close does your desires parallel the things that David desired of the Lord? Friends, these are things that we need to consider. What do you desire of the Lord? Friends, thank you for joining us for our program today, and have a blessed day.